She is the only one ever inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice. But awards can't answer the real question: what does it cost to become a legend? For over half a century, the world saw the black chiffon, the haunting voice, the woman who seemed to float on a wavelength all her own. What no one saw was the small Los Angeles apartment, the knees pressed into someone else's floor, the years swallowed by a chemical haze that quietly erased the songwriter inside her, even as she kept performing, smiling, spinning. Behind one of history's best-selling albums, 5 lives were quietly unraveling. Behind the sobriety she fought to maintain, a new, doctor-prescribed trap was waiting. And behind the icon, there was the girl, a child who sang before she could read, who carried the weight of a voice the world would one day demand she wield perfectly. What happens when an empire rises around you, yet you feel invisible inside it? Who was Stevie Nicks before the world told her who to be? And how does someone lose love, friends, and years of her own mind, and still step back onto the stage again and again? To answer that, we go to the beginning. Before fame, before Fleetwood Mac, before the legend, to a restless family and a 4-year-old who already held something rare inside. Stephanie Lynn Nicks was born on May 26, 1948, in Phoenix, Arizona, into a family that never stayed put. Her father, Jess Nicks, a corporate executive with unrelenting ambition, pulled them from Phoenix to Albuquerque, El Paso, San Francisco, and finally, Los Angeles. Home was never a place. It was a rumor. By high school, Stevie had attended more schools than most kids do in a lifetime. Roots were luxuries she would never keep. Yet one thing remained steady: her voice. Her grandfather, Aaron Jess Nicks, a struggling country singer chasing a dream that eluded him, first recognized something extraordinary in his granddaughter. At 4, she held a tiny harmonica in her hands as he taught her to feel music before understanding it. They sang together on long car rides, at kitchen tables, in the quiet hours after the world slept. He gave her more than songs. He gave her identity. He made her understand early that her voice was not just sound, it was who she was. When her parents worried he was spoiling her, Aaron refused to back down. She has something. Don't take it from her. It was the first time someone defended her gift before she could. By high school, Stevie had decided singing would be her life, not a hobby. While classmates planned careers, she filled notebooks with songs, studying Janis Joplin and Joan Baez intensely. At Arcadia High, she met Lindsey Buckingham, brilliant, intense, and destined to become the great love and complication of her life. They recognized in each other the loneliness of those who hear the world differently. Before they truly knew each other, their voices already fit perfectly. His guitar beneath her singing, creating something neither could alone. Their connection was both musical and romantic from the start. In the late 1960s, they moved to San Francisco chasing success, but the scene ignored them. As Buckingham Nicks, they released a 1973 album, but Polydor Records dropped it with no promotion. The following years were harsh. Stevie waitressed and cleaned houses while writing songs. Then in 1974, Mick Fleetwood heard their album and wanted Lindsey as a guitarist. Lindsey insisted Stevie come too. Mick agreed, and at 26, Stevie finally got her chance. Fleetwood Mac was bruised, worn from years of lineup changes and setbacks, but Stevie's voice and Lindsey's guitar reshaped it instantly. Their 1975 album shot to #1. Songs like Rhiannon revealed a new rock femininity. Stevie became an icon almost overnight. Behind the success, chaos ruled. By 1976, relationships in the band were collapsing. John and Christine McVie divorcing, Mick struggling, and Stevie and Lindsey breaking apart. Stevie ended the romance but stayed in the band, performing beside the man she still loved. From that turmoil came Rumors, 1977. Fueled by heartbreak and betrayal, it became one of the greatest albums ever, selling 40 million copies, topping charts for 31 weeks, and winning a Grammy. In the early 1980s, Stevie faced heartbreak, a terminated pregnancy, and cocaine addiction, which threatened her health and voice. Her 1981 debut solo album, Belladonna, debuted at #1, but fame masked her struggles. By 1986, warned of permanent damage, she entered Betty Ford, confronting addiction and leaving humbled and clean. Cocaine was replaced by doctor-prescribed Klonopin, which over 8 years quietly flattened her emotions, dulled creativity, and muffled the spark of her music. She gained weight, lost her stage presence, and songwriting stalled. Fleetwood Mac's 1990 album Behind the Mask suffered without Lindsey Buckingham, and her psychiatrist confirmed Klonopin had become a severe dependency. Withdrawal took 45 brutal days, but by 1993, she emerged, music slowly returning, a third beginning at 45. The 1990s brought reinvention with Street Angel, 1994, raw but alive. In 1997, Fleetwood Mac reunited with Lindsey for the dance, reclaiming the magic of love, loss, and heartbreak. Yet decades of loss continued. Lindsey left again in 2018, Tom Petty died in 2017, and Christine McVie in 2022. The original alchemy of the band dissolved, leaving silence that no applause could fill. In her mid-70s, Stevie remained extraordinary. She had survived addiction, heartbreak, and decades on stage. In 2020, a TikTok of a young man skateboarding to Dreams made it Spotify's most streamed classic rock track. She wept, not for fame, but because music she created in pain was still touching lives decades later. At 76, she occupies a singular place in culture, still performing, writing, moving audiences to awe. Her voice carries the weight of everything it has endured: the cocaine years, the Klonopin years, the touring, the grief. Yet what remains is richer, a texture, authority, and presence that only a fully lived life can give. When she sings Edge of 17, she is not recalling memory. She is embodying decades, each note a document of survival. She sees young women at her shows, discovering Fleetwood Mac through TikTok, record collections, or viral videos. She recognizes in them what her grandfather once saw in her. The music sparks something inside the listener. She carries her lost friends onto every stage, not as burdens, but as presence, proof of a life that touched others deeply. Her philanthropic work mirrors her music, quiet, purposeful, unwavering. She has never married, has no children, but the music, the decades on the road, and the millions who carry her songs are her family, her legacy. She still spins when the music calls, still writes in notebooks, still trusts that the next song may be the most important one she has ever written. Perhaps the truest thing about Stevie Nicks is this: after floors scrubbed, love lost, years stolen by substances, friends buried, and a band effectively dissolved, she still believes in the next song. That stubborn, luminous belief is her real legacy. Not the myth, not the fame, but the living proof of a life fully, fiercely, and defiantly lived. What about you? What song of hers arrived at exactly the moment you needed it most? Leave it in the comments, not as tribute, but as part of the ongoing conversation she began over 50 years ago and has never stopped having.